Well, I figured today would be a good day to clean up my car a little bit. I haven't actually cleaned it since last winter, and I know that because I found this crappy jacket in here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it in the garage, look it over, do a little maintenance, clean it out, and get it ready for winter. Fire's right up, no problem. And we just back her into the garage. And then I'll look it over, see what it needs. I know for a fact I have to put air in one of the tires. It's low, so I'll check all the rest and I'll jack it up and look at the suspension and everything, and then I'll start cleaning it out. It's definitely getting a little bit colder, 56. Well, I went ahead and checked the tire pressures. Had 26 all around except for this one, which is at about 20. Doesn't even look low, but it is. So I'll go ahead and fill the tires. It's a true redneck vehicle. I got 3 steel rims and an aluminum one, but it works. So I'm going to go ahead and fill these up and then put the caps back on, and then I'll jack her up. Cheap Chinese garbage. Went to check the pressure and it fell apart in my hand. Good thing I got like a dozen of these. But anyway, they're all filled up now. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the jack it up, and make sure my tie rods and ball joints and all that are good, and lube it all up in there and get it ready for winter. Well, I got this side jacked up, and the wheel bearings and the ball joint, or the wheel bearing, the ball joint, and the tie rod end on this side feel alright. Tire's not in the best shape. You know, it's getting old and starting to crack, and not a ton of tread left, but it'll work. Then I went ahead and walked around and I looked at some of the other tires and realized I have 2 different size tires on here. This one's a 205 70/15, and that one's a 215 70 R15. But that one's in the back, so it doesn't really matter. 4 different brands of tires. They're all oddballs, I guess. I got you know, different size. One's got an aluminum rim, and I got one white wall. That's class right there. Rock one white wall tire. But that one's good. Go ahead and jack up the other side and make sure everything's good on that side. And I think I'm going to go ahead and throw a wrench under here and make sure that the subframe bolts I have left, that one's obviously gone, but the ones I have left, I want to make sure they're tight. Don't want that falling out, but tighten those up and should be good to go. Well, I jacked up this side and found something sort of wrong, just a little bit of play in the ball joint here. I don't think I'll be able to wiggle the tire while I hold the camera. I don't know if you can see that too well, but there's a little bit of play in it. It's not something I'm going to be concerned about. We have cars up here we call winter beaters, and this is what I would consider a winter beater, even though I drive it all year long. It's basically a car you don't really care about. So this will hold together. I'll check it again when I change the oil in about 1,000 miles, so like 2 months, and make sure it's all good. If it needs to be replaced, then I'll do it, but for right now that'll hold. I'm going to go ahead and check those subframe bolts. Got a nice little access hole because I had to replace that one, but so far so good. Well, I went ahead and checked all fluids. They're all good. Even though I changed the oil 4 months ago, I've only gone 2,000 miles, and it hasn't lost any. Still full, so we're good. Power steering fluid's good. Training fluid's good. Air filter's good. There's nothing living in it. I didn't pull it out, but there was nothing living in it, so it must be good. Brake fluid's good. And look at this, I cleaned it. Wow, that's spiffy. Look at that. Practically shines like the day it was new. Yeah, that's clean enough for me anyway. I'm not too picky. I live on a dirt road, so there's really no point in cleaning it out too good. Oop, I better clean these. I better give it a bath. It's pretty filthy. Yeah. There we go. Oh, that's nice. That right there is a redneck car wash. That's all you really need to clean anyway. But she's all done. I can see the floor again. All my tools are out. All the garbage is out. I'm not going to put the, I don't know if you can see in there, but the glove box is out and that back panel, that bottom panel is off. I'm not going to put that back on. It's a winter beater. 195,000 miles. 195 and 61. Not bad. Yeah, it'll last this winter for sure. Well, that's just lovely. I went to shut the hood, and of course this latch is all rusty and froze up, and you can't really move it. It moves with a hammer and a screwdriver. But and on top of that, I grabbed onto this, and of course it's rusted up here. It's not attached anymore, so it'll be a matter of time before this part rusts out and it falls off, and then the hood will only be held by the safety latch. That's wonderful. So I'm going to see if I can just free that up, bang on it back and forth, move it up with something. I don't know. It only has to work for a while anyway, but just make it so I can shut the hood, and then once that rusts out, I suppose I'll grab a bungee, strap it up there to close it. But well, now I know exactly why it's so hard to open. Well, I managed to spray a little silicone in there and get that freed up, but of course I shut the hood and that loose part popped all the way through, so that pin doesn't come down far enough to actually engage and latch in there. So I guess it's time for a bungee cord. Good enough for me. Well, there we go. I put a bungee on it, and there was no real good way to wrap it up so that it would hold. You know, it kind of flexed, so I went ahead and I just put a piece of wire between here and here, and you know, the bungee will be sort of a backup, and then another backup would be this latch here. But that'll work. Wire has a tendency to, you know, rust away and break, and if it, you know, wobbles against these holes, it'll eventually break through. Trust me, I've wired up my exhaust more than once. It happens. So I'll have this and the backup bungee and the secondary latch. That ain't going nowhere now. Good enough for me.